cue the Jeopardy music. Oh,
Very
never mind. It started.
It did start. It took a couple minutes there. Well, welcome for you who are joining us maybe late and watching this recording. We are going to be working on reviewing the concepts that we've covered all year long to get our brains fresh and ready to go for our end of course exam, which is coming up very soon. So you need to make sure you're checking your emails, making sure you're asking a guidance counselor if you don't have a scheduled test, because you are in biology. So you will have at least the biology state test this year. All right. So we need to make sure you know where you're taking that and when it is scheduled. All right. So today we're going to look back at cells. In chat, tell me what a cell is. What is a cell? What is a cell? It is a living thing. Good. I like that. It is a small living thing. What else? Small structure that helps us live. Good. It is the smallest unit, the smallest living thing. All right. Not just small, smallest unit thing. And it is what we call, I'm going to write this, type this in chat. Are you ready? Good. Dustin's on it. Basic unit of life. Everybody type that in chat to me. Basic unit of life. What is a cell, guys? The basic unit of life. Yep. All right. That is what a cell is. I should be having 69 of those come into chat. The basic unit of life is a cell. If anything is alive, it is made up of at least one cell. All right. This is a test question. This was on a previous test. All right. It says a student is asked to draw 4 cells. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Which drawing
Bless you.
is, thank you, is a representation of a prokaryotic cell? All right, what is a prokaryotic cell? Don't even look at these pictures. Don't even look at them. Yes. What is that? Like, what is a prokaryotic cell? We have 2 types of cells, right? Prokaryotic is one. What is the other kind? Eukaryotic, right? What kind of cells are we made out of? Yep. Yes. You are made out of eukaryotic cells. Will someone get on the mic and tell me what EU means?
You as in yourself, as in you.
Okay, good. Yes, that is YOU. Can someone get on mic and tell me what EU means? What does that mean? We're dissecting that word, right? Who remembers what that means? It rhymes with you. Who remembers?
Just one or like something.
Let's play.
All I
Starts with
know
a
of
T.
person, self,
No. TR.
PTR. Wait, so it's PTR. True.
There
Protector.
you go. Ireland got it. True. You means true. Right? So a eukaryotic cell has a true nucleus, right? Where our prokaryotic cell, we talked about our simple cells, right? There are simple cells. They still have DNA, but they don't have a nucleus, like most of you remembered. So I'm going to put up a poll, and I want you to tell me which one of these you think is a prokaryotic cell. So looking at these, A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Not doing terrible. All right, so the answer is C. The answer is C. The answer is C, and we can see, let's go to diagram A. Everyone use your pointers and show me where the nucleus is in cell A.
I don't think we have tools.
Oh, well, that's crummy. That's not fun.
Where if without the pointers, we spoil the fun without the pointers. We like pointers. It's just neuro being neuro, isn't it?
This looks different to me. Why is this not working? Strange. Feel like the default permissions are different. I do not know why.
Like we probably need neuros being.
The button to give permissions is not even there. Well, that's weird. Oh well. I guess you guys don't get arrows today. All right, right here. All right, this is a nucleus. This right here is a nucleus. Right? In the inside, this is what we call the nucleolus. All right. When you think about the egg, like a hard-boiled egg and an egg yolk, right? The whole egg is the nucleus. This is the whole thing is the nucleus, but the inside, the egg yolk, is what we call the nucleolus, and it's like the safe inside of the nucleus. There's actually a membrane around that little nucleolus too. All right. So here you have the nucleus, nucleolus where the DNA is. This is a plant cell. All right. But we still have a nucleus and a nucleolus. Okay. And then here we see the strandy stuff is our DNA in this prokaryotic cell. All right. Is there someone that would like to read this question? What are prokaryotic cells in again? So prokaryotic cells are, unlike bacteria cells, some bacteria cells are prokaryotic cells. They're like our archaic. They're the most simple cell. Right? They're usually unicellular organisms, which means they don't get big. You don't get big organisms that are made out of prokaryotic cells. Does that make sense? So there are a lot of like water organisms that if you like go do water samples and stick them under a microscope, you can see little things like swimming around in your pond water. Like a Daphne, I think is what it's once called. There's a bunch of little tiny single cellular organisms. Those would be prokaryotic cells. Yeah. No, I'm glad you asked. All right, Pip, you read this one. I'll have Ireland read the next one.
All right, I gotta zoom in since could be a bit too small. A student studies two different types of cells. The cell types are shown: the prokaryotic cells on the left and the eukaryotic cells on the right. Note figures not drawn to scale. Which two structures does the eukaryotic cell have that the prokaryotic cell does not have? A. Ribosomes and chloroplasts. B. Mitochondria and a nucleus. Oh, hold on, I gotta move the pole out of the way. C. Chromosomes and cytoplasm. Or D. Flagella and a cell membrane. Thank you. Oh yeah, you're muted.
I need to I'm a little bit crusty from spring break with my mic. Oh, goodness. Yes. What do we think, guys? Ribosomes. Somebody tell me what a ribosome is. Make me so happy and remember. What do we make in the ribosome? Yes. Ribosomes make proteins. Type that in there. Ribosomes. There are little protein factories, and they're everywhere because we need lots of proteins for all life functions. Proteins are so important, right? Ribosomes make proteins. What's a chloroplast? Why do we have chloroplasts in cells? What's a chloroplast? Kind of. Chloroplasts are just in plant cells, remember? Sometimes they will be in prokaryotic cells. Yep, here comes the sun, Pip, right?
Here comes the sun.
Chloroplasts take our sunlight and make them into energy. So they're in plant cells, right? So they're energy makers, ATP makers for plants. What about a mitochondria? What is a mitochondria? Yes. Mitochondria is the power plant of the cell. Both plants and animal cells have them. All right. We talked about a nucleus. We know that's where the DNA is kept. What are chromosomes? What are chromosomes? They are the DNA inside the cell. Yes. Right, Sean? They're the genetic material. Now, we know that the chromosomes can be in different forms. Chromosomes are when the DNA kind of is rolled up into spools, like yarn spools, before cell division, right? So, like here in this prokaryotic cell, you see DNA, but you don't see chromosomes. Chromosomes look kind of shorter and chunkier, right? They're just like little balls of yarn. What about cytoplasm? What's the cytoplasm? Good. Fluid in a cell, right? It's everywhere. It's kind of like jello. I like to think about it like jello in a cell so that it keeps it from, if I would put a bunch of the organelles, we'll pretend this vase I have right here is the cell. If I was like, here's one nucleus, a couple ribosomes, here's a mitochondria, and an endoplasmic reticulum, and a Golgi apparatus, and then I shake it all up. What would happen to the organelles if there were no cytoplasm? Yeah, they'd be like bing, 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 off the cell wall. Chaos, disorder. Yes, something in the water, right? So this jello keeps shape to the cell, keeps things held into a spot. Good. Almost there. Flagella. These are flagella. All right. Flagella are like the tentacles of an octopus or a fish. Yep, it's perfect, Sean, like a propeller, right? When you think about like a tail on a whale or a dolphin, they're like tails, right? They are used for, biology word, locomotion or movement. All right. Cell membrane. Last one. What is a cell membrane? Good. It's like a barrier, a wall that protects the cell. Why do we go through all of these? Why do we do this? Just because Mrs. Rittenhouse wants to feel super good about how smart you are? Yeah, to make sure, because if you're taking a test like this, that's what I would do. I would look at the two types of cells and then I would say, okay, ribosomes, they make proteins, and chloroplasts are in some photosynthetic organisms. Photosynthetic means they go through photosynthesis, right? Green organisms. And I'm going to say, does that have to do with eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells? And in my mind, I'm going to say, well, no, because prokaryotes can have chloroplasts, and so can eukaryotic cells. So that's not right. I'll say mitochondria. I look at this cell and I'm like, I don't know if there's a mitochondria in there or not, but there's a trigger word in there for me, nucleus, right? And I'm like, I know that a prokaryotic cell doesn't have a nucleus, so that might be the answer. But let's keep going. Chromosomes. I don't know. I don't know about that. And you look at cytoplasm, and you're like, they both definitely have cytoplasm, right? So then that would make you cross this answer off because there's cytoplasm in both cells. What about flagella? Well, we see flagella on this prokaryotic cell, but if you are a male, you have cells that have flagella. Your reproductive cells have flagella. All right. So it's not flagella. And you can see the cell membranes actually here in both of these pictures, that they both have a cell membrane. So it would not be D. See how by going through and sharing what we know about cells, it's going to help us go through the process of elimination with these kind of questions. Go ahead. All right, let's keep moving. Here we go. So, Ireland, would you like to read this for me?
Do you want me to read the graph thing too, or?
You can maybe read the title. I wouldn't read all of these just because that might be a lot.
Okay. A group of students studied 4 different cell specimens under a microscope and recorded information about each cell in this table. Characteristics of 4 cell specimens. Cell specimen is a prokaryote. A, cell 1, B, cell 2, C, cell 3, or D, cell 4.
Good. This is what I want you to do in your mind. Take your hand and put it over that graph. How do you feel when you start looking at graphs? Tell me what emoji is you when you look at a graph like that. I panic sometimes. I'm gonna be like, Okay. Don't even look at the graph. What is a keyword in the question? Go to that very last sentence. What cell specimen is a prokaryote? What is a keyword there? Ari is on it. Yes, Faith. Yes, Pip. Yes, Ava. Prokaryote. What do we know about prokaryotes? No nucleus. All right. So let's look at the graph now because we need to figure out these cells. It's giving characteristics: cell wall, cell membrane, chloroplast, and DNA in the nucleus. See? Yes, this makes it so easy. There's only one cell that does not have DNA in that nucleus. So that tells us it's cell 3. Did that take a lot of analyzing in that graph? This is for our end of year test that's coming up here in a couple weeks. Yeah. Yep. Good job, guys. That did not take a lot of analyzing. I love that because it shows that there can be complicated graphs, but we don't have to make them complicated, guys. We don't have to. If you take what you know a prokaryotic cell does not have a nucleus, we can eliminate reading that whole chart other than that one column. Okay. So there we are. That's a good thing to screenshot. If you are keeping screenshots in a OneNote or a Microsoft Word document, do that right now. Screenshot. Okay, these are the things that we've been talking about. Simple versus complex. Having a nucleus versus having DNA that's not contained in a nucleus. Simple. This is mostly unicellular organisms, single cell organisms. If you'll have eukaryotic cells that are going to get bigger. Okay. Let's move to this next slide. All right. I need some readers. Again, these are questions that have been on previous tests. So this should boost your confidence. All right. Pip, go ahead and read the next one for me.
All right. Anyways, which pair of organelles work together to give structure and support in animal cells? Keyword animal cells. A. Cell wall and cytoplasm. B. Cytoskeleton and the Golgi complex. Did I say B? Cytoskeleton and Golgi complex? Oh, I thought I said C. C. Cell membrane and cytoskeleton, or D. Endoplasmic reticulum and the cell membrane. Thank you.
Good. So she said keyword animal cells. Good. What's another keyword? What are we looking for? Structure and support. All right, so what organelles give us structure and support? I want you to choose. Cell wall, cytoplasm, cytoskeleton, Golgi complex, cell membrane, cytoskeleton, endoplasmic reticulum, cell membrane. So the answer is going to be cell membrane, right? Because that's going to be kind of like our outside exterior, and cytoskeleton. We didn't talk a bunch about the cytoskeleton, but what the cytoskeleton is, it's like a bunch of little microtubules that kind of look like bones that help give your cell almost like a dome. Have you seen one of those travel domes? Or they put them on porches sometimes right now. I'm going to try to pick a picture.
If Nuo would work with it.
You could go like glamping in it. Like this. How cool are those? One of my friends went glamping like that over spring break. But do you see those support structures? Oh, I just clicked on that. The beams that are going through it, right, that give it structure, those would be kind of like the cytoskeleton, all right? And we know that the skeleton, we can relate to that in our own bodies. So if we know it's a real thing, that helps makes it make sense. All right. Ireland, will you read the next one for us?
The presence of which structure helps classify an organism as a eukaryotic? A. Nucleus. B. Flagellum. D. Chromosome.
Good. What do you think, guys? Eukaryotic cell. What is an indicator of a eukaryotic cell? Yep. Remember, EU means true. It makes it different than a prokaryotic cell. So you are correct if you answered A, nucleus, right? Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus, a true nucleus that stores our DNA. Perfect. All right. So this is a diagram, right? It's got 4 types of cells from the same animal. Cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. These are all cells from the same organism. So what statement is true or accurate about the cells? The 4 cells have identical DNA sequences. Cell 3 and 4 have the longest DNA sequences because they have longer shapes. The 4 cells are different shapes because they come from different parent organisms. Cell 1 and cell 2 have the same active genes, even though they are from different body systems. You have all these cells in your body. Okay? What do you think? What statement is accurate about the cells? Don't overcomplicate it. And remember the truths. The truths that they give you. And the question says the diagram shows 4 cells from the same animal. 4 cells from the same animal. What do you think? We're all over the board on this one. Literally about the same amount of answer choices for every single one of these. I'm going to present this. Okay? So let's look at this. These cells are all in your body. If they're all in your body, what do they all have that's the same? What do you think? If I took a DNA piece from the DNA from my cheek cell and a DNA from my nerve cell, would they be the same? Good. Yes, the DNA is all of these cells is identically the same. Now, remember when we talked about having a wall of light switches? Remember the wall of possibilities? The wall of possibilities. This is a wall, and it's got just hundreds of light switches all over it. This is how I like to think about it. All right. Every single one of these cells have the same DNA. But when they get a job, some of them, like this right here, is a nerve cell. This is a nerve cell. Okay. So when your cell is assigned the job of being a nerve cell, some light switches are turned off and others are kept on. And that's what makes it evolve, like get this shape. Does that make sense? Is everyone following that? Their shape is designed because of their function. All right, these axons and dendrites are important for electricity to travel through, just like cords. Okay? Other cells need like this. Like these would be similar probably to like your inner intestines. Okay? Like this could be a digestive cell because what's in here is with each of those folds, you increase your surface area. And that's what captures all of the nutrients that are going through your intestine. The shape determines their function. But on the inside, in every single one of these nucleuses, they all have the same what? Type it in chat. DNA. DNA. If they're all from the same animal, then they all have identical DNA. Even if the shape of the cell looks different. Because some of those light switches are on, some of those are off, so that cell can be designed for its specific function. do we feel better about that? If you, another good analogy would be, is look at the different parts of your body. Okay. My nose looks a lot different than my fingers, right? Like they look different than my fingers, but they're both part of me, right? My eyeball looks a lot different than my toe, right? My lips, they look a lot different than my ears. Just because they look different doesn't mean they're not still a part of me, right? If I had a big ear on the front of my face, that would still be first of all, it would look so weird. But if I had an ear where my lips are, I wouldn't be able to eat well, right? Because I need my lips and my teeth to help me eat my food. They look and do what their function is for. But that doesn't mean that they aren't all still a part of me. And it's the same way with our cells. Our cells all have a little different shape depending on what part of the body system they're a part of. But on the inside, they all have the same recipe for you. So hopefully that helps. I feel like we're getting further along on that. All right. Somebody want to read? All right. Pip first, and Ireland, you'll take the next.
Which element is found in all living cells on Earth? A, aluminum, B, boron, C, carbon, or D, chlorine. If only chlorine had started with a D, then that would make sense. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Yeah, you're muted, by the way.
Man. Good. Yes. Most of you are pulling this one. Good. I feel like we've hounded and hounded and hounded. If you were with us semester one, all living things are made up of a non-living element, and that number one the element that is found in anything that was alive or was ever alive. And that's why we have carbon dating, right? Radioactive carbon dating is because every element, every living thing has carbon in it. All right. It made me happy that so quickly so many of you had the answer to that, right? Carbon is the best friend of all things because it has 4 places to bond. It wants to be friends with everyone. Makes it a happy, stable atom. And we have it. It's a part of all of the things. Proteins, which we need for all life functions. Carbs, which give us energy, right? Our nucleic acids, which are part of our DNA. And our lipids, which are those are fatty things that like oils that make up our cell membranes and protect. All right. Carbon, carbon, carbon. It is a molecule that identifies living things. We're gonna keep moving for that. I went backwards instead of forwards. Let me check our time. Oh goodness. We're over time. We will finish this tomorrow. All right. I feel like you should have been feeling pretty good. Okay. Save notes. We're going to have 2 quizzes Thursday and Friday. It's going to talk about this stuff that we're reviewing. Okay. Follow along in the content. Practice these state practice tests that I have on your announcement page. Guys,
Friday
the
P?
better you're going to be. Go ahead.
Is Friday? I thought that the P was supposed to be a parentheses for a second. That caught me off guard.
No worries. Friday P, All right.
Yay.
Have a wonderful day. I'm glad you guys made it back from spring break. I missed you all. I hope you enjoyed your rest. And now we're ready to get back at it and chase after it hard and get ready for what is in front of us. I will see you all soon. Have a great day.